Hey everybody, Miss Ladybug here, aka Debbie. Um, it's good to see you. It's good to be here. It is really good to be here. I'm so grateful every day that I wake up with new opportunities. Things improve, and life is good. If you're new here, if you've met me in my journeys in the last year or two, if you've connected through one of my social media pages, welcome. I don't post on this page a lot because I have a much different life these days than what this page was originated from. This page was started to document a time when I was very, very ill and coming off very potent pharmaceuticals that had been prescribed to me by physicians and taken as directed and caused a lot more damage than giving benefit. Many of my posts in the past have been about benzodiazepines, so I will speak to that first. My last benzo, after over nearly 30 years of being prescribed benzos off and on and being on them long term for a number of years, was on October 10th, 2016. So I'm just almost 2 months past 8 years without benzodiazepines being part of my regime. I was on multiple other medications, including antipsychotics, antidepressants, anti-inflammatories, medications for my stomach, medications to sleep, all kinds of things. And if you dig deep, you'll find my lists have been talked about on this page, but I'm not going to go into that today. But my last routine medication, pharmaceutical, that I took on a routine basis day after day was on January 1st, 2018. So I'm almost at 7 years without medications, which is something I'm a bit proud of, because I was told for years by the medical professionals, as well as people who were in my midst, that bought into the idea that medicines were going to fix whatever they perceived to be wrong with me. Well, that was just their perceptions. I did not need those medications, but I'm sure they're surprised. I'm not. I feel more myself than I ever have since I was a young woman, before medications were introduced to me. And it feels good. I like it. I like who I am today. I'm calm. I'm reasonable. I'm capable. I'm smart. I know how to find answers. I'm kind. I'm loving. I'm forgiving. I'm tolerant. Know when I say that tolerance has a level for everything. Even a rubber band has a tolerance level. Tolerance doesn't mean you take something forever and ever. And that has been one of the big lessons that I've learned in this journey of being allowed to voice pains and truths that affected how I perceived the world and my surroundings and my relationships. The way I view it today, I was taught things that didn't really serve me because I wasn't in the same circumstances or having the same life issues that the people that I looked to guidance were having. So they didn't know how to deal with me any more than I knew how to deal with them, because we just had so many differences, which is fine. Not everybody is for me and not everybody is going to be against me, and I'm not going to be welcoming of everyone because there are things that I don't enjoy being around of how certain people can be. Nothing wrong with that. We all have freedom of choice of what we want in our surroundings. And I've learned that I can have that voice and that I can say, no, that's not for me, thank you. It's not against anybody. Although that's how I was taught, was anytime I used my voice for something for me that was selfish or I was being unreasonable, and that's just not the case. So there were a lot of things that were circumstantial in me being medicated and accepting medications as a potential solution to interacting in a place where I struggled to fit. So anyway, I don't have medications anymore. And I fit just fine in lots of places in my world and the society around me. And I'm enjoying myself thoroughly. For those that are struggling with the symptoms that can become evident with long-term use of pharmaceuticals such as benzodiazepines and antidepressants and antipsychotics, it is not an easy journey, and it is not a passive journey to find balance and wholeness in a place where you feel okay. Some of it is time for neurotransmitters to find their way to homeostasis again. Some of it is healing some of the trauma that can be associated with just the medical harm and the gaslighting and the disbelief of everyone and the being cast off in society and labeled unworthy of helping. That requires more than just a passive approach. And you're not going to get that help outside of yourself. It's just work you have to do. I mean, you can have guidance, you can have good friends or mentors in communities that you trust that are healthy, that represent what you hope when you get through this, not at your equal when you're sick, if that makes sense. The groups are really great for learning what's going on and for not feeling alone, but for myself, many of the groups I found to be perpetuating the fear and the lack of healing, for a better way of saying it. Just by talking about it and talking about the horrors on and on and on and on, I, in time, found that to be more harmful than beneficial for me. So, you know, you can look and see where I've been through my documentation over all these years. Today, I travel full time. I traveled over 6,000 miles in about 2.5 months across 10 states and I think over 10 different national parks, and met family members from both my mother's family and my birth father's family that I'd never met before, and a host of other amazing people along the way, and saw some of the most beautiful countryside I've ever seen in my life that literally brought tears to my eyes more than once. I don't have fear and anxiety. I don't have that underlying fear and anxiety that I used to have. I have radical acceptance about a lot of stuff that no matter what I do, it just is what it is. It's not about me. It's about other energies out in the universe that I am in. I live a life where I'm seeking peace, and I try to perpetuate kindness, and I'm just seeking having an authentic quality life that matters. And I'm feeling that it does matter, and I matter. And so that's where I'm just so grateful for an opportunity every single day. Because there were times, as you can see in old videos, where that was not the case, that I didn't want to be here and thought it would be best if I wasn't here, and hated the world, and all kinds of things that are no longer true for me. They are no longer true for me. I am a different person, and the people that spend time with me and are around me, they're seeing that. They're enjoying that with me. The people who still, for whatever their reasons are, choose to still envision me how I was, I can't do anything about that. But I am not the same person. I don't approach life at all the same. I have big hopes. I hope to do a lot more traveling. I enjoy learning and observing people's interactions and the way that they approach life based on their past experiences and their perceptions that they've created. We're so different, even though we have so many similarities, and it's the similarities that bring us together. But I choose today to find similarities that highlight the highest and finest things that I want for my life. And I find that reflected back to me. It's very nice. You know, I just have such different perceptions about things. I have different ideas about material things, about going with the idea of everyone has to do the same. It's, you know, this time of year we're supposed to do this, and if you do something different, well, you know, that's not acceptable, or vice versa. If you do the mainstream, that's not acceptable. I'm I view things so differently today, and I got off the merry-go-round of having to do it the way everybody else is doing it. I do what suits me. It's my life. And it's a good life, and I'm making it so. So, yeah, I could tell you things that still are troubling, that aren't exactly as I'd like them to be. I still have some physical complaints, so to speak. I still have some struggles with the use of language and remembering words and staying on track with the topic if I get distracted, focus, things like that. But compared to where I was, I feel brilliant because, oh my goodness, there for a while it was very hard and humbling to be so dysfunctional and struggle so much with being dysregulated. But I feel pretty regulated these days, and I'm able to handle life again with, I hope, a grace that others see in me, because that's what I try to put out. And am I perfect? Of course not. Do I have moments where I probably fail abominably? Probably. But I give myself grace for those moments. And they're brief. I don't even know a term. Old habits die hard. Sometimes, even with my more conscious, mindful way of being, in an instant, for a moment, I may revert to an old way of coping until I feel a feeling that I don't like, usually in my stomach or my throat, that tells me, oh, okay, take a pause. We don't want to feel like this, so we need to do something different. And then I find a new way to forge a different path past something that triggered an uncomfortable feeling in me. And I practice that over and over, and it's working pretty well. So I guess that's my update. It's very different, I'm sure, from my others. This last year plus being on the road and going through some losses again. I'm not even going to go into it. Just saying that, there have been some painful changes that occurred in the last year, and I am grateful to be where I am mentally and spiritually, to move forward and continue on with my best life. So that's my update. It's nice and cozy inside, but I've been house sitting where it's not got over freezing for 5 days, hence wearing a hat and having the fire going. But I'm grateful to be in Oregon, and I'll be heading back to the desert to friends and activities and warmth and dryness by the end of the month. So if you aren't yet, you can follow me at Ladybug Landings on Facebook, on TikTok, and on YouTube to see what's going on with me now, because it is a much different life, and I am proud to share it with you all. Anyway, wishing you all peace and love and ladybugs. Love ya.